Today we're putting it to the test, comparing Taylor's new 417E, the Grand Pacific joining the 400 series line, with the Grand Poupon, the 717. Let's check it out. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store, link below for custom swag, and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes about to premiere. So, and I recorded one of the little ditties on there with this guitar today, because I really like this guitar. This guitar, if you didn't know, is a Taylor 717, no E. All the people that
no
like,
E.
I don't want electronics, I want to add my own. Okay, here it is. Go to alamomusic.com and you can buy it. But this is the Builder's Edition Grand Pacific body shape that Taylor came out with a few years back. It's fantastic. The Grand Pacific has slowly been growing in the lineup, mostly in, well, there were the initial Builder's Edition 517 and 717 and a 317, and then the addition of the American Dream line with the Grand Pacific body shape, and occasionally some custom models one-off. But this is otherwise the first real mainline guitar, right?
Yeah, they have 317, 327. This is the first, like we did an initial look at this, the first spruce rosewood dreadnought, really.
Yeah.
Since the discontinuation of like the 810, this is the one, and this is the competitor for all the other classic spruce rosewood dreadnoughts now, and it's cool. And
it's a very cool guitar.
Yeah, and obviously this one is spruce and rosewood as well, but got a little kick it up a notch vibe going on.
It's a little different, and you know, putting these right next to each other, like the vibe is very different.
Yeah.
They are both round shoulder dreadnought shapes in what Taylor has dubbed Grand Pacific, and they have the same tone woods. But there's a lot different.
Yeah.
Outside of the bracing and the tone woods and the body shape, there's a lot different.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about and compare. But you know, I saw Andy Powers did a video really talking, I think, to their sales staff or dealers or something. But there was a question was come up, and that's what this video hopes to answer, is how similar are these two guitars? And they're very, very similar, but if you're splitting hairs, there's actually a lot different. I think most people, when they compare, like I've done today, will notice the differences in the feel of the guitars, because the Builder's Editions have a special neck shape, and I don't think that gets enough press. I don't think it's publicized or advertised enough by Taylor that these Builder's Editions have a different neck carve to them that is extremely comfortable, and I like it a lot.
What do they call that carve?
It's like a compound carve.
Yeah.
And I really, really like it. But in addition to that, the feel of this guitar is very different because of the silent satin finish and whatnot. And having compared them, spoiler alert, they do sound different.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what you're going to get. So you did the initial review of that. It's a big round shoulder rosewood and spruce dreadnought.
Yeah.
What can you expect?
A lot of bass response and volume output, you know, like we talk about with rosewood all the time, kind of a scoop out of the mid-range, but you got spruce up top, it's gonna push, it's gonna vibrate a lot, and then the rosewood's gonna give you lots of good highs, lots of good lows, leave space for your voice in the middle, so great singer-songwriter guitar, great frontman or frontwoman guitar, fun to strum and just get that massive, you know, pretty sound out of, but like really any Taylor, like it's a great lead guitar as well. You know, it's comfortable. It's not gonna fight you like maybe some other large, big old spruce rosewood dreadnoughts that you really gotta work hard to get lead volume out of. I mean, this guitar is kind of, I think, what they're putting up against the J45 or J45 Deluxe, you know, because rosewood. But a D28, you know, it's right there in the mix, and something maybe a little more comfortable for a lot of different players. So yeah, I mean, the sound is big, boasting rosewood sound.
And it's got a classic look to it, you know, rosewood and spruce with that burst and that crisp white binding that's on there really does look like a lot of classic, you know, dreadnought and other guitars from the past. One of the things that is still in this guitar with the V-Class bracing is an emphasis to have that bass response and that volume without woofiness.
Yeah.
I remember Taylor talking about that. When you go to record, and we deal with that here, obviously, because we're recording for YouTube, some big dreadnoughts will move a lot of air. And it's just like when you're singing to a microphone and you have to have like a pop filter. You can get that, and I've seen sound engineers go, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's there, it's subtle. What EQ band is it on? How do you filter it out? It's a struggle. And so part of the idea with these is, can you have that volume and can you have that bass response, but can you affect that movement of air in a way that it's not detrimental to the recording process? So these record very well too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And it goes along with the refresh of the 400 series with the new 412 and the 414. Virtually the same exact guitars, just with a burst on the top.
And what's the new inlay called?
This is the Fenial inlay.
Fenial.
Yeah.
And it's in a Goya shell, so I don't get to make a joke about Italian acrylic. The inlay and the rosette are in a Goya shell, which I thought was pretty cool.
Goya, like beans and corn and veggies?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to Goya and be right back. But so very nice inlay. I really like it. I like the burst that they're going with on this. I think it was tweaked a little bit, but they're still calling it Tobacco Sunburst. So really great look. Looking at these two guitars, I almost feel like this looks like what that guitar might look like in 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
It just kind of looks like, a new guitar that's been played for a long, long time. All of the edges are softened. You've got the chamfered edges. You've got the softened bridge. You've got the softened heel. You've got the smooth satin finish. So I'm a big fan of both, but I'm going to play these, and I want you guys to listen. And on the other end, I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm hearing as far as the differences between the two. So check it out. Okay, so there you have it. Now, before I open my big mouth, I want you to think about what you heard and maybe comment in the comments below between the two guitars. The differences are subtle, but the differences are there. And I think the differences are there for two primary reasons. One, because this is an all gloss finish. So by nature, it's going to be a slightly thicker finish than what the Builder's Edition 717 has on it. Now, when we say slightly thicker, Taylor still has one of the thinnest poly finishes that's available on the market. But it's going to change the tone slightly. The other thing is the fact that that's a torified spruce top, and this is just a Sitka spruce top. That is going to allow the top to be a little bit more resonant. And so both the combination of the torified spruce top and the thinner silent satin finish, I think lends that to be a bit more resonant and have a little bit more on the bottom end than this guitar does. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. In terms of the sound, I think they both have their place, but it's almost like you said with the look, it almost sounds like a brand new guitar versus a little bit older guitar. Right. I love a good torified spruce top. I think it's an upgrade really any time.
Well, who doesn't? I prefer to torify all of my stuff.
Yeah, I torify my car, my shoes, my meat. I love a good heat treat, but there's some about both the 717 and the 517 Builder's Editions. I think they're kind of underrated a little bit. Yeah. I mean, the people that have them that are looking for that sound, be it rosewood or mahogany, like the people that know, they love them and they play them, but I almost feel like it's not considered like a standard line thing. People don't think about it all the time. I think the GP body will get a little more attention after this one's introduced and, people start playing it. But it feels like this great guitar, it will age with you over time. It will get that sound over time. But if you want to jump right in, I think this is the one. Not to mention, in my old age, I am learning more and more to love wood binding.
Yeah.
And it's this one is just really aesthetically understated guitar, but really nice when you get into the details. I love the rosette on there. I like the Wild Honey Burst, and it fits what I think the whole Andy Powers mindset for the Grand Pacific it was supposed to be. It calls back to that time and that sound. But this will get there.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad to see the line expand. First of all, the 400 series has only had a Grand Auditorium and a Grand Concert in it for quite a while. So it's nice to see the changes to the line and to see the number of body shapes grow. And it's nice to see the Grand Pacific get offered in additional series. I'd like to see a 500 series non-Builder's Edition. I think that could be cool. We've said numerous times that a 600 series maple and spruce Grand Pacific would be awesome.
Because the 8027 is a great experiment. Flame top, not the regular one's cool too, but the all maple is great. But if you bring in some of the aesthetics of the 600 with the spruce top, it'd be awesome.
It'd be very, very cool. So I hope to see it continue to grow. I think the American Dream line has done something to introduce more people to this body shape. And I haven't really been too quiet about the fact that one of the guitars I really want, Blake asks me a lot when I go into our Babcock location. All right, Chris, people ask, what would you want or what's your favorite guitar or whatever? And it's a very difficult question to answer. But I can tell you that I really want a 517 Wild Honey Burst, a Builder's Edition 517 Wild Honey Burst. No E, just because I have a bunch of other pickups and want to match them. But I really want that guitar.
Yeah, it's hard also to invent a new burst that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's been done. But the Wild Honey Burst stuff, all the Builder's Editions, it's kind of my favorite of a new burst.
Yeah.
Should we say? So yeah.
Well, so between these two guitars, that familial bond is there. They are a little bit different, and of course, there's different price points. So you're able to get a rosewood and spruce Grand Pacific, in the 400 series at a lower price point than the previously only version of rosewood spruce, which was the Builder's Edition 717, and it brings a different tonality to the Taylor lineup. It really does. kind of stand apart on its own as far as the body shape and the tone that you're going to get out of it. So if you've been looking for something that's a great strumming guitar, great flat picking guitar that gives you all of those overtones of spruce and has that classic look, Taylor finally has it available for you in the 417E. And if they're interested in this guitar, where should they go?
You're gonna want to go to alamomusic.com. All right, browse around, see what you like, and then just, you know, do it. It does what websites do.
You can look at this guitar like that. It does what websites do most of the time. So you can look at this guitar, you can look at that guitar, anything else we have to offer. And the bigger thing that you can do is you can actually message one of our associates online, and you can ask questions and get photos and videos and all sorts of stuff. They're there to help you find the right guitar, you know, because you don't want to get a good deal on the wrong guitar. So we want to help you find the right guitar and get a good deal on that. So anyways, at the end of the day, the best guitar in the world is the Builder's Edition 517E Wild Honey Burst that Taylor should just send me to my home. You can send it to the store. It's fine. Anyways, if you're new to our channel, they should.
You're gonna want to subscribe, all right?
Yep.
Turn on your notifications. There's gonna be some really cool releases this year that we can't tell you about quite yet, but if you turn your notifications on, you'll be amongst the first to know. So do it.
So do that.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. We'll see you next time.